Hello everyone, welcome to Optometry with Ayush. Right now, we will be studying about the dimension of an eye. In previous class, I have explained you what is an structure of eye, what are the parts of eyeball, anterior chamber and the posterior chamber. Right now, I will be discussing about what are the basic dimensions of an eyeball. So let's start. First of all, what is the shape of an eyeball? Eyeball is of oblate spheroid shape. Now what is an oblate spheroid shape? If you can see the screen, oblate spheroid shape is a sphere mixed with an sphere. In this we have a sphere that is mixed up with the sphere. Like you can see, these are the two spheres. When we mix them up, they make a shape of an eyeball. So this particular shape is of an eyeball. As we can see, this is the part known as cornea and this is the part known as sclera, the outer part of an eye. So right now, what are the dimensions as we can see here in this? First of all, the shape is slightly elongated anterior-posteriorly. So what are the dimensions of an eyeball? Eyeball is slightly elongated anterior-posterior part. The anterior part is this one and the posterior part is this one. As you can see, the elongation of an eyeball extends from anterior to the posterior part of an eye. After that, as we can see, the average dimension of adult eyeball, which we can see here, is of about 24 mm antero-posterior diameter. The antero-posterior diameter is a diameter which elongates from this point to the end of an eyeball. So this is anterior part and this is posterior part. It is of about 24 mm. Approximately 24 mm. That ranges from 22 mm to 25 mm also. The vertical diameter of a eyeball is 23 to 24. Vertical means extended from the superior equator to the inferior equator, which cuts eyeball into two equal halves. After that, if we will see the horizontal diameter of an eyeball, which cuts eye into horizontal with an horizontal line, is of about 23 to 24 mm. The circumference of an eyeball is about 75 mm. In numbers, circumference is the outer part of an eyeball, the eyeball which covers all the matter including sclera and the cornea. This complete boundary is known as the circumference of an eye. So circumference of an eye is approximately 75 mm. Inside this, if we include the anterior chamber, vitreous humor and all the intraocular bodies, they make the complete volume of an eye. Complete volume of an eye is about 6.5 to 7.0 ml. ml because all the volumes are taken in ml. Now clinical correlation of short axial length is, if we have studied, and we must be knowing about the axial length, role of axial length. Axial length is just a basic measurement from the anterior to the posterior part of an eyeball. So if we consider this, if axial length of an eyeball is small, we can say eyeball is somewhat ending up before the retina. This is the short axial length of an eyeball. This means eyeball is shorter in shape. This condition is known as hypermetropia. Shorter than 22 mm is known as hypermetropia. And if the axial length of an eyeball is larger, this means the eyeball is extended. If we say the axial length of an eyeball is larger, this means the light is being focused in front of an eye. If this is an object, so light will be focusing in front of an eyeball, and this boundary will extend more than the normal length. So what will happen? The anterior and the posterior point of this axial length will increase. It will be about more than 24.5 mm. It is considered as myopia. Now, this difference, what is known as your difference in the axial length, if it is about 1 mm, so there it could be a change of 2.5 degree, 2.5 diopter to 3 diopters of myopia or the refractive error. The normal axial length during the birth of a child is about 16 to 17 mm and reaches at the age of adult about 13 to 15 mm. Reaches adult size by the child takes birth, he must be having a axial length of about 16 to 17 mm, and if he will grow up, it will take the average axial length of about 24 mm. So this difference is of 13 to 15 years in numbers. So this was some basic details about the dimensions of an eyeball. Thank you.